Thanks for watching. This is Wave Rider wishing you good trading. Catch the wave and ride it. Good day, traders. This is Wave Rider with your weekly Forex outlook for the 29th of May through the 2nd of June. June is already on us, so let's see what the market will give us this week. We'll start with the dollar index. Right now, the dollar is still holding its bearish momentum from this big impulse and has formed a flag. When market opens, it can continue down directly and break this pattern, or it can bounce, give us one more leg, and then break the pattern. This area that I have marked here is an area where I'll be looking for price to either reverse or consolidate again, but this is an area to watch. Though we have the bullish divergence on the MACD, so I'm not expecting the dollar to continue down, but we'll see what price gives us this week. Next to the euro. Following along with the dollar index, the euro is in a flag pattern right now. It can continue directly out of the pattern at market open, or it can bounce, give us another leg down and another move to the bullish side. This area I have marked here once again is that reversal area with the monthly trend line, monthly pattern here is the blue line. As you can see on the RSI, the pattern is also painting there, and we still also have that bearish divergence on MACD. So just be careful. Still look to buy the bounce of the break. Pound dollar. Most of the pound pairs are all look the same. They're all oversold and looking to either make a correction or a reversal. So we'll look for a correction first. If a pattern develops, we'll plot it out and update the charts. But right now, it's right in between a bottom and the top. So we'll see what price gives us here. When the market opens. MACD still showing the price moving down, so until we get the divergence, we'll continue to look for a continuation pattern and more bearish movement. USD CAD. USD CAD is in continue to hold this descending channel within a larger pattern, but we are once again not getting that MACD divergence that I need to see in order to look for price to move bullish. So CAD can continue to move down before it breaks out of this channel. So I wouldn't say it's ready yet, but we do have some RSI divergence, and the pattern forming here will eventually break bullish. So let's wait and see. USD dollar. Dollar is in a smaller flag within a larger flag. So I'm expecting this smaller flag to break bullish upon the opening and bounce somewhere in this area and continue down with this bearish impulse that we're still holding valid. So as I said, the main pattern is this bearish flag that will break south, but right now we're almost into the oversold area, so look for a move up during this week and then another move down. Pound chief follows the same as the dollar index. The pattern is not as clear, but on the RSI we still see it rising correctively, so we're still looking for a movement to go down. Until it gives us a bullish impulse to reverse, we're still looking bearish on the chief. New Zealand dollar. New Zealand dollar is in an ascending channel, which could form into a kind of a diagonal. We'll see what price gives us, but it's kind of topped out right now. price is pushing down on the RSI and the MACD, so looking for a movement into this area or possibly creating this pattern here. So let's see where it reverses, and then we'll know where to go from there. But we're still and currently we're looking to sell until we get a bottom to reverse from. Aussie dollar, no usable pattern, but RSI is moving down, still not oversold yet, so it does have room to the bottom. So price could extend this pattern and give us a pattern, possibly something like this. But we'll see, as we said, once the price gives us something clearer, we'll update the charts and we'll go from there. But overall, Aussies in this descending channel that we're looking to trade bullish. Euro GBP. Euro GBP is very clear right now. It is currently in a bounce from the top of this daily pattern. Look for a bounce entry to sell or a break. It's overbought, so prices coming down this week. Look to get in where you can. We also have MACD divergence pushing price down, so we're looking bearish this week, and we'll update the charts as the patterns develop. Euro yen. Euro yen is oversold right now, and it looks to probably create a continuation pattern. I don't think it's going to reverse itself completely, but we'll see how it goes. If you look at the dollar yen, we have the dollar yen also pushing back up, so we'll adjust it as we see it. So yen could come up to the top of this pattern and then break bearish, but we'll see as the market develops itself this week. So right now there's no real setup. We'll just wait until the market gives us a clearer entry. Euro CAD. CAD still has some room to the bottom on RSI. We got a little divergence on MACD, so we're looking for a bullish move out of this pattern. Even though it has hit a top, it is still not made the bearish impulse that we need to see. So until we get a bearish impulse that will invalidate our current bullish movement, we're still looking bullish on this pattern. So look for to buy a bounce or the break of this flag. Euro Aussie. Euro Aussie is also in kind of a ascending channel, but price has more room to the bottom. And once again, it's also given MACD divergence, bearish divergence. So it's conflicting with the pattern. So I'm not prepared to do anything with this pattern right now. So we'll wait and see what the market does once it opens up. Once it gets clearer, we'll reassess and make a judgment from there. But right now, we're still working off these bullish impulses. So we're still looking bullish on this pattern until we get a bearish impulse to push us back in the other direction. Euro NZD. It's oversold, so we're looking for either a reversal or a continuation pattern. So we'll see when the market opens, and once it develops, we'll update the chart and we'll go from there. But nothing clear right now for us to buy or sell. This pattern itself breaks bearish, so we'll just have to see if it's going to give us another leg up, or is it going to form a continuation pattern and then continue its move down. If I can click this way. Euro Chief, the turtle. Turtle once again is just like our other Euro pairs. Right now we don't have a clear pattern, but we're still looking for price to go bullish. It's just a matter of where. It still has room down on RSI, so it can extend. Let's look at a possible extension to possibly this bottom, and then we'll look for price action in this area. The current pattern that is forming would suggest that it could come as low as this area. So we'll look in these two areas once price gets there and then update the charts. But currently we're still looking bullish on this pair. Pound yen, as I said, most of the pound pairs all have the same type of formation. They're oversold and either forming a correction or a reversal. So if this is considered a bounce, it will give you a bounce entry. If you don't have bounce entries, I'm sorry, but you have to find a way to get into the trades. We have basically two main trades with multiple triggers. We trade a bounce or we trade a break of a pattern. So if this is a bounce entry for you, then you will be looking for the pattern to develop either a continuation pattern or a complete reversal out and break of this pattern. So, but I'm looking probably for another continuation pattern like this, and then possibly another move down. But we do have MACD divergence, which means price can break out of this pattern at any moment. So be prepared. If you can find a reason to get this, to buy this bounce or the break of this pattern, too easy, too easy. Pound CAD, same scenario. We have oversold. Price will move up. How far, we'll have to check. We don't have the divergence in this pair. So once again, we're looking for either a continuation pattern or a break of this pattern. So if it forms a continuation pattern, it'll come up to the top trend line of this pattern and possibly make another move down. But look for the breakout itself. So buy the bounce or buy the break. Pound Aussie, same scenario. Buy the bounce or buy the break. Pound New Zealand, you guessed it. Buy the bounce or buy the break. Pound Chief, what do you think? Buy the bounce or buy the break of this pattern? See, if you don't see the patterns in the market, it's harder to trade. We see the patterns, we draw the patterns, and we trade the patterns. That's why we get better entries and better targets and stops, because we enter the market at the correct time that the market is reversing. And this will be considered a reversal point for us, so we're looking for a bounce or a break. Let's go on to the Aussie pairs. Aussie yen is currently coming off of a bearish impulse. If we look at the bigger pattern, it looks like this. So this bigger pattern that the Aussie is giving us suggests that price could continue up to the top, or it could just be making a continuation pattern here and continue down to the bottom for a bounce and then come out of this pattern. No matter what, we're still looking bullish for this pair. The larger pattern, as you see, is also a large flag that we're looking for price to continue and break bullish on this pair. So bullish, bullish, bullish for the small and bullish for the large pattern. Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD has more room to the bottom, so it can come all the way to the bottom trend line, either this one or this one. We'll update as we see it, but we do have a continued move down as shown here on our RSI also. If you don't use RSI like this, you should try it, because RSI is a very useful tool. It can show you patterns and show you movements in the market. So our RSI is showing us that it does have room to the bottom, but this pattern itself breaks north. So we're looking bullish on the Aussie cat. Aussie New Zealand. All right, Aussie New Zealand is oversold. We don't have bullish divergence. So price is still, this bearish impulse is still valid. So we're looking for a possible continuation pattern, or a continued press out of this pattern and an extension of this pattern, because right now that's really not a good bottom for this pattern. So it can press down and just delete that line, because there's really not a good bottom that we have here. So once price gives us a bottom, we'll adjust the pattern. But right now it is oversold, so it's going to make some type of move back north. So let's see whether we get that continuation pattern or a reversal itself. Aussie Chief, just like the other Chief pairs, we're looking bullish on the MACD, and our pattern itself is also a pattern that breaks bullish. When it breaks out, we won't know yet. Once it gets clear, we'll update the chart. But right now, it looks like it's kind of topped out, possibly gonna move down to the bottom and then bounce back up. But right now, all we can see clearly is that the price is trying to move down on the RSI and on our chart. New Zealand yen. New Zealand yen is moving down off of this current diagonal type pattern. Topped out last week towards the end of the week and came back up to retest this top, and now it's going to continue down. Let's see how far it goes. It might form another pattern, a continuation pattern to continue north, or it will come all the way down to retest these lows, either here or here. New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD is one of the clearer options we have for this week. It is coming off of a bounce from this top. We have a pattern ascending channel. If you're not in yet, look for some possible entry, short entry on the lower time frame, or wait for the break of this pattern. MACD and RSI are all pointing down, and we're looking for either these lows or possibly all the way to the bottom of this channel. New Zealand Chief, also pretty clear. We're coming off a bounce on Friday, looking for a move down to the bottom of this pattern, and then we'll update from there. MACD is also giving us that divergence pushing down, so we'll make our decision when it gets down to this lower trend line to see if it's going to continue or will reverse and give us another leg bullish. But sell the bounce, and let's watch price action when it comes down to this area. CAD Chief. CAD Chief is rising correctively, which means it's going to still continue downwards. We're waiting for a clearer pattern before make a judgment on exactly when we can get in. Once again, it's formed a little top here and the top here, but no pattern, recognizable pattern. We could contain it like this and then look for it to continue in the bullish direction. So we'll have to see where price stops when it comes down on this leg, because right now it's looks like it's going to come down. So if it stops around this area, then we'll have a flag and we'll look for more bullish movement. If not, we'll look short. Oil, I posted oil in our on the TradingView analysis, oil looks to be have a little bit more room to the top. Looking forward to reversing this green box and then start back bearish. Look first to these lows, and then we'll see how far it goes down. And that's in conjunction with the other CAD pairs. So as oil moves, so do the CAD pairs. So we'll expect strength in CAD and then weakness as the oil prices begin to reverse. We also have that MACD divergence, so price can drop at any moment. So be watching, be ready, too easy. Gold. Gold is also in a good spot right now. It's showing us a nice pin bar reversal bounce from the top of this pattern, ascending channel, which breaks down. So look for your first move to come to the lower portion of this pattern, and then possibly a continuation on, and we'll adjust as we see. We have great MACD divergence pushing it down, RSI's pushing it down. So if you're not in short, this is a great time to look for that short trade. Well, that's all we have for this week of the 29th of May to the 2nd of June. Wishing you good trading, catch the wave, and ride it.